Hi, previously I started playing on hard mode, made my character, illustrated that the fish in the village is chemically polluted with steroids, which drew me the ire of a monster who then proceeded to penetrate me and eat my heart, involuntarily, if I may add. His penetration left me with a radio station that's blasting motivational quotes every time I touch my chest, while also inflicting the crippling erectile malfunction debuff. To cope with such an affliction, we compensated with explosives. So we saved the merchant by blowing him up, found a stone that has blessed us with the power of human pawn trafficking. After we disposed of the Cyclops, oh yeah, we also did the tutorial for the pawns, which I conveniently left out in the last video because it's fucking boring. We got talked down to by a green, one-eyed midget, which left me with many frustration. This would lead the entourage to the DLC area, where bombing the local fauna is socially acceptable, resulting in Rat hitting level 10 and picking Assassin. We'd get the quest to save the wounded with the powers of them flowers. Driven by the voracious appetite for experience points, I somehow ended the hospital situation, which wasn't really a hospital. I set some rules down, then talk about mods and introduce the bounty board. And this would give me a rocky, unstable landing in my current position. There was nothing about this pose in Kama Sutra which makes me unsure of how to proceed from here. Yes, I am using a sex joke because I have no idea what the fuck I'm trying to do with these videos. Oh yeah, on the account of maximum personal suffering and maybe your entertainment, I feel obliged to make a death counter. I have died 2 times so far, and everything I say now is to pad out the second death. Without further ado, I present to you the Dragon's Dogma Reptile Saga video, which is a part continuing where I left off. Paul wants to make a request and give us a quest. See when the dragon was raining destruction on the village and while Rat was heroically getting finger blasted on the beaches of Casardis, this guy was hiding in the well like a bitch. So he tasks us to go down this well in order to investigate the weird sounds. So, while I did call him a bitch, I must admit that I am also starting to doubt my decision of going in a damp and dark hole. However, I must set an example to my two meat shields, so personal doubt aside, I go in anyway. You know what's an immersive experience? The dark actually being dark. Why? Because you are not promised to be alone in said darkness. I mean, there is a quest. It's never that simple in an RPG, right? This truly immerses you in the role of trying to keep yourself motivated and unmolested, or both at the same time. So, landing down, this is where the bounty for 7 giant rats gets completed, excluding Rat himself. We hit that level 11. Anyway, the anticipation slowly builds, with all the mini waterfalls beating on the rocky surfaces, the rats and bats making noises. Walking through this dimly lit cave, we hear the alligator purring noise. Naturally, seeing something weird, I pull out my bow and arrow and shoot it. My projectile alerts the reptile. Anyhow, did you know that these lizards are weak to spanking damage? You hit their ass until their tail flies off. See how they're rolling in excruciating pain on the ground? That's when you start shanking them. So effectively, I am telling you that the spank and shank tactics are the best for this scenario. By the way, the magic of hard mode makes me squishier than a stress ball. If you want to argue that the dragon is not the only scaly that went in, much to my distress, that is an argument that you can now easily win. I also forgot to mention that they have self-defense measures. Making their ass slick makes their tail whip. So I got tail whipped into submission 2 times in a row. This prompted me to use my explosive loads on these toads. This went Nice if we discount that I was looking for the last one for 2 fucking minutes. Some time and looting. Later, we get an audible sign. This alerts us to a homosexual den, seeing as how so far Rat is explicitly and exclusively getting penetrated by reptiles. I send Fanny inside. While Rat avoids the spit roast, whilst from range he sprays the coast. After I clear out and loot clean the area of my first real quest experience, I figure I have to run back. Yeah, I forgot where to climb back to exit the cave through a well, so I just take the long way back. Remember bounties? 5 cute and cuddly bunnies are now dead. So we enter the town, talk to the scared guard, and he thanks us. It was after this point that me and Mr. Fanny had a conspiratory look. So Rook slips down the cliff.
Yes, science!
And then gets claimed by the waves. Why did Rook visit the depths? Because while he does work for free, his work is inadequate. No wonder he named Rook. He's sinking my DPS chart. Not that I have any.
The dog ate my homework. I had a great idea and I lost it.
The actual reason is only your main pawn levels with you, which means that Rook is level 5 and he's permanently stuck there. I also assume my primary meat bag is not motivated enough to dive headfirst into danger, like me, so we get not one, but 2 schizophrenic sorcerers for motivation. By the way, I want the ever-elusive hero achievement that you get for finishing all the side quests. No, bounties are thankfully not included there, because we'll just need 50 of those. Where was I? Give me a second. My ADD kicked in. 2 pounds later, we continue what we were doing. Questing. So I talk to Elvar. Much like the guard, he lets our hero know that he is also a bitch. He tells me he watched me get molested on the beach, together with another guy, Cortez. Banger name, by the way. Cortez died bravely while distracting the dragon. Elvar, feeling it's inappropriate to use another villager as a distraction, won't show his face in front of Cortez's brother. So he tasks us with doing that. Not yet though, I have to visit the church. The priest inside has lost his scriptures, and he wants me to discreetly bring them back. We exit. Wait, hold up. Why does this boy know something about this quest? Surely this is not the Vatican stereotype. Did the priest use the ramp to get to his bum? I could leave this to your imagination, but I told you, I almost know everything about the game. This little shit stole them in order to play a prank on him, and then he dropped them somewhere. So a return stack of scriptures later, we go tell the guy without his brother that the dragon didn't use no rubber, and then back to Elvar to tell him he is not being judged as a cunt. This is where we meet Madeline. Madeline is a cold-hearted merchant, or, in a more popular term, she's a gold digger. She wants to be escorted to the encampment, which I do 90% of, and then I forget to do the last 20 meters and enter alone. Well, not alone, but without her. At this point, I get distracted by seeing Reynard. Yeah, the guy that we saved by blowing him up. I get some new armor together with some more bounty quests, after which I decide it's time to progress the main questline. So we talk to the thick, armor-wearing chick. She seems to be worried for our well-being, prompting us to rest. This is a point of no return, so if you didn't do any side quests, this is where you want to do them. I will talk about this later. Rat ends up waking up in a cutscene. He sleeps in full armor, by the way. This is where we have to praise him. My man is always ready to blast his enemies in the past. Regardless, crises seem to favor this wooden fortress. Rat sees the soldiers running around in panic again. He turns around to see a giant snake.
Neck. Oh, cut it off.
which immediately attacks him. But there is not only one snake, but two. And it's for, so yeah, a hydra, if you will. Since I'm level 12 or something here, I elect to use projectiles that will hit this reptile. Much like my pawn who gets eaten 30 seconds later. See, this is also what would happen to me, which is why I am keeping my distance. I don't have the balls to go up close and personal. The rest of this is not really interesting because I just pepper the snake in the head, while Mr. Fanny is exploring the anatomy of its stomach. So unloading shot after shot in its head, or the air, since I have potato aim, ends up climaxing with its head slipping off and landing next to me, while trying to jump scare me. Why the fuck not, right? Some fanfare, cause the guards have avoided that and lived. The French accent chick suggests me to bring the head to the Duke of Grand Soren so that I can get the help of his armies. She tells us she will await us near a bridge, but more on that later. For now, Rat enchants his gear, and Fanny's too, even though he is useless. This encampment has too much excitement in it, so the gang leaves it, upon which Alvar waits for us outside to tell us that Quinn is missing, the girl that's trying to heal us. Ah yes, remember Madeline? If you do, congratulations, because I didn't. I actually went back and checked the recording. Exactly 22 minutes later, I realized I forgot about her, so I ended up escorting her the last 15 meters to the camp. Doing this favor for her, she graciously invites us in, not for the reason you might think though, get your mind out of the gutter. See, she wants 1,000 fucking gold in return for which she will give us a small discount once she opens her shop in the capital. So after the bimbo went akimbo on my pocket, I bail out of there like a rocket. Back to Casardis yet again, cause new quests got unlocked. Adaro tells us that his daughter left for Witchwood to find a cure for my wound, so I set off for Witchwood too. Unlike the trek to encampment, this is actually going to be a perilous journey. So, some doggos, an introduction to traps, and some involuntary interactions later on both sides. Instead of doing it again and miserably dying, I start the quest to apprehend the local thief that is taking off with their beef. Stop looking there. I am by no means maliciously going to use these. So after my small investment, I talk to the innkeep. This starts the night and spawns our malicious liberator of the village goods. Ah yeah, so I shoot my crap, he takes a nap, while I prepare my lap for his ass tap. Back to getting to Beechwood. I robo some more gobbles along the way, ruin the ecology of graciously, then proceed to fail the mugging exam. Again. And again. And I'm dead. It was at this point that I just resorted to using bombs. So yeah. Bandit bounty. Yay. After this timely decision, I finally rob the robbers and enter the woods with my explosive goods. Upon entering, I do this. And then get mauled by the dogs. So, an eternity later and some evisceration of the wolf's gut, we find the witch's hut.
There, that must be it. Come on, cuz.
This is Celine. Celine doesn't know much, but she tells us her grandmother is the one who knows of the worm, but that she is unfortunately dead. She also tells us knowing of the worm can bring problems. Right. So, speaking of which, I swiftly proceed to rob her house. I might feel sorry for her, but loot is loot. Getting to the hut reveals a shortcut out of this place. which gets me right near the entrance to Casardis. So back to Quina's father, he feels very sorry and he blames himself. I mean, not like her character is using my character as a role model, right? It's not like I am setting a bad example here. I would never. So, after all those quests, I take my gang of followers to loot this village clean. Also, I always find this funny. I don't know why. Then it strikes me that the flying dock rats have a bounty on their head. I vote for the main quest line again, because I got nothing else to do. Get ragdolled along the way. Remember when I said this is a point of no return? Yeah, doing the main quest line will advance the world state in case you are using my videos as a deranged walkthrough. So if I don't do the side quests, they will become unavailable and automatically fail. This is bad for my hero achievement, and because it will end any quest chains related to the failed quest. So this can lead to the world seeming empty and bereft of content, which I don't want. Also, if you were planning on playing this game, I just sum up the quests while using my degeneracy. They're pretty okay. They have some cool stories while also adding to world building. So, finally, getting to Mercedes gets my schizophrenic pawn excited. She cannot control her excitement, so she spanks a guard in the ass. This is a point of no return, by the way. Mercedes makes me listen to her bitching because I woke up too late. You can avoid this by not coming there in the middle of the day. This is the shittiest quest in the game. Because I am uncomfortable making you suffer, here's a fast forward while I rant a little bit about it and insert some shitty jokes. There's the usual goblins and wolves in this canyon, with a twist. These whack winged sluts thrown in the mix. Our second-hand bison is taking a while, so we kick it along the way. Man, it is no wonder these fucks went extinct. Look how slow they are. Some bandits later, which is the last combat encounter, by the way, I mount the bison while grabbing myself a cup of coffee, in the hopes he will make it to the city before my foot becomes itchy and Pita gets bitchy. Spoilers, he doesn't, so I end up having to kick him towards the gate anyways. So once there, the Frenchie steals her Hydra head, saying she will send word to us and calls us a friend. To sum it up, she friend-zoned me and she took my Hydra head, for which Fanny, over here, got eaten. That's fucking cold, man. It is time to procure more equipment. I get my hands tied behind my back after doing this, because the game really wants to lead me to the Pawns Guild, like there's something important there. We accept a quest from this guy with a dead son. Now I could have looked up his name while writing a script, but I see him as a bag of experience. So I won't. Then we go to the Pawn Guild, completing our quest to go there and accepting a new one. The pawn tells us this is an ancient and magical place. We must inspect it because new cracks with shining blue light showed at the bottom. This is a very disturbing discovery. Therefore, you know. Oh yeah, the place is named Everfall, by the way. Why go down a downward spiral in real life when I can do it in a game? You hearing that sound? Yeah, I will mention the sound soon. Anyways, you might notice that someone has shit the bed, because there is a lot of undead. A minute later, after my shit joke, I try to cheese two skeletons with an exploding barrel through the gate. The game lets me know it won't stand for my shit, so while opening a chest, Fanny, the party's tank, decides he will plunge to the bottom of this place without a parachute. Now I have to be the only physical damage source of the group. And this is effectively where my dungeon crawling experience took a turn for the worse. Naturally, the game telling me to go fuck myself once doesn't discourage me. So I grab another exploding barrel. This, unsurprisingly, backfires, chunking me for 400 HP. Considering I just started this, one could say I'm off to a great start. Now that I think about it, that might have just been the skeleton's damage. Some smelly skellies later, followed by more undead, we end up here. Remember the sound when Fanny was free falling to his death? This is making that. This is an ogre, or as I like to call him, Shrek.
Ogres have layers. Onions have layers.
Just like a sad green monster, they also have layers. What am I trying to say with this movie reference? Well, it's that they don't care about my physical damage, especially this early on. More on this later. For now, I heard October is when Halloween starts, so I have deemed it fit to work on my cosplay a bit earlier. You might ask me what am I cosplaying? The answer is a dead body. Did you know having females in your party can, just like in real life, make your life harder both ways? This is not a joke. When ogres are not making a sound resembling a Reddit mod, they are usually fighting. If they, and I shit you not, smell a female, they will get excited. So what will happen if you have a female in your party and get Mr. Shrek excited? Well, three things. First, he will start giggling excitedly, like a schoolgirl. 2. His ass will become red with excitement. 3. The more females you have, the faster the ogre will move. I have 2, so I'm fucked. See, I was not giving you ogre facts because I wanted to. I got stuck for 30 minutes here, throwing my entire inventory at him to kill him. The fights went something like this. He instantly gets rid of my pawn with a goddamn jump kick, pushing her off the ledge and teaching her about terminal velocity. Seeing this, I come too close. Now, I'll have you know, my death was expected. Getting the sweat of ogre feet smeared into my brain, not so much. So one loading screen later, amidst me throwing everything I have and the kitchen sink at him, I yet again wander too close. This time he gives me a hand job by cracking me in the jaw. I somehow live and kill this horny abomination. This time I have only one pawn with me. More living dead, undead mages, also a demonstration on harpy management. Do I show you how to manage the harpies? No, I show you how to get managed by them. I come back to where I died, and this time I triumph by clearing out this room. I find a lever that opens up all the closed gates, which I could have accessed way earlier. Admittedly, I could have also printed down and avoided suffering, if only I wasn't treating the numbers getting higher as my priority. So there is a mini puzzle for loot with a locked gate. I get the engraved lever by robbing a few graves, and then proceed to loot the place and exit to the bottom of Everfall. This is where I grab a wake stone shard and a port crystal, both of which are important. Examining the bowl of crack will net us with a cinematic, introducing us to the bad kind of tentacles. Yeah, I am not into this, so I just sprint up, because they don't give XP. Exiting the Everfall, I turn the quest in. Remember getting a Wakestone shard? Yeah, that's what I needed. Now I can talk with the guy that has a dead son and resurrect his son for experience. After leaving the guy that sounds like my uncle, I accept every quest in the city, decide to call it a day. Will Rat get his promised audience with the Duke and more gear? Go find out in the next one. Dislike, like and sub if you wanna, regardless of which I thank you for watching. See you next time when my special white jacket gets slightly loose.